How do you change the mind of somebody who is in a cult? And I'm not talking about somebody with harmless beliefs like the religion of Jainism, where they believe that you should not even kill an insect. No, I'm talking about somebody with very firm dogmatic beliefs that they have so much commitment to that they strongly advise that you listen, except that it's not really a choice, because if you dare defy their edicts from up high, then they will cram them down your throat. Because they are the elites, and they are so much smarter and more moral than thee. Should they encounter Chesterton's proverbial fence, which is where you come to a gate in the middle of nowhere, where an intelligent person might imagine that someone took the time and the expense to install it for a reason, and not touch it until understanding why it was erected to begin with. Unfortunately, this is not the case amongst the arrogant cultists who believe that they are collectively Einstein, and that your beliefs are not only stupid, but those mirroring of the Nazi Party. Because you desire to keep the fence up, and they say tear it down, and then society gets devoured by the predators. So, is it possible to change one of these people's minds? And if so, what would do it? Rhetoric combined with evidence and tremendous amounts of patience might work for 0.01% of cult members. Believe me, I've tried. Their ideology is their identity, and any evidence that contradicts their firmly held beliefs creates cognitive dissonance such that they will definitely lash out at you, sometimes violently. So then, is there anything that we can do that might change their mind? Yeah, they have to be hit over the head. And if you think that I meant that literally, you're right. Take the case out of Minnesota, where a far-left Democrat named Shivanthi Sathanandan, a Marxist and second vice chair of the Democrat Farmer Labor Party in Minneapolis, who for years stridently demanded that we abolish the police and did all she could to demonize them, to tear down the proverbial fence. Well, she was carjacked in front of her children and badly beaten, ending up with a broken leg, deep lacerations on her head, bruising, and cuts all over her body. The medical procedure in question was performed by a group of, no doubt, young scholars just looking to feed their families. This is the description and explanation given by the AOC and far-left types and others of their ilk. You know, the same people that in the midst of a massive crime wave insist that criminals be given zero bail, empty out all the prisons, pay out BLM rioters with taxpayer money, like the $4.7 million recently settled for in Denver for rioters who had their free speech violently suppressed, while they applaud the Capitol rioters being sentenced to 22 years, even if they weren't at the Capitol that day, a la Enrique Tarrio. For such people, no amount of evidence that their policies don't work and create suffering is good enough. It doesn't matter that the cities are gutted in Portland, Chicago, LA, Philly, that businesses are getting stolen from because they've incentivized shoplifting, removing any penalties for it. Sure, no doubt, the murder rate has jumped in all these locales, but so long as it only affects other people, like the inner city blacks who have bared the brunt of the crime wave that they swore that they were protecting. What I mean by that, it doesn't affect her personally or other wealthy Democrats. But you know, when you get jumped, when you are literally attacked by the predators and other, shall we say, young scholars that you've released, that you've fed, that you've pat on the head, then and only then Is it possible that such people might change their tune? Here is her new statement. Look at my face. Remember me when you are thinking about supporting letting juveniles and young people out of custody to roam our streets instead of holding them accountable for their actions. You could have been reading the obituary for me and my children today. But instead, I'm here to write this. Look at my face. These criminals will not win. We need to take back our city, and this will not be the last you hear from me about this. Thank you to the incredible Minneapolis 4th Precinct officers. Very different change of tune there, huh? Mayor Frey, our community is cloaked in love. No, cloaked in blood is more like it. She tore down the fence and told us how stupid we were for complaining about spiraling crime. She and other Democrats defended shoplifters, rioters, those looting and burning down local businesses, insisting all the while that they had insurance, which just, in the end, comes out of all of our pockets in the form of higher premiums and prices that you pay at the store. That is, even if the insurance pays out to begin with, which is always a dubious proposition. When innocent people on the street were repeatedly mugged and assaulted, y'all told us that racial justice was more important and invoked the old adage, sometimes you have to break a few eggs in order to create an omelet. I've never seen said omelet. But when your egg-shaped head gets cracked, you realize that you have actual skin in the game. That maybe, just maybe you should reconsider. And frankly, I'm willing to bet that she hasn't changed her stance on any other issue. That she will continue to vote for Democrats rather than even considering checking the box for a Republican. That she will continue her cycle of ideological advocacy, only slowing down slightly for the police. But this is the human ego and the condition of the day. And the reason that I spend so much time making a video like this is the hope, the desire that this reaches somebody who's on the fence, who's not firmly embedded into the cult. Somebody who realizes that not only do these policies not work, but they in fact create misery wherever they're tried, and eventually that boomerang is going to come and hit me. So share this video with somebody who matches that description, so hopefully we can avoid them experiencing the same fate that befell Shivanthi. Although, if it was going to happen to anyone,